Good evening, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. We about to come up. We are now at episode 6. So, just let some people get in here. Yeah. Yes, sir. Just gotta let some see if we get anyone else in here before I bring in our guest for the night. Ugh, you know? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. All right. We all ready? So y'all know how I do it every week. I hope everyone's having a good week. Hope everyone's had a good day, that you did something positive, you did something useful, you did something proactive. We got to live in this moment right now and do what we do. And whatever it is you're trying to do, right now is the best time to do it. Um, you know, there's tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. So, we gotta do what we gotta do for us. So, I'm gonna just give a brief breakdown of my guest tonight. Goes by the name of LRgoHard. This is a very good brother, very close friend of mine. We go back to high school, you know, and he's a good dude. He's a rapper. He's an entrepreneur in his own right. He is a father and just an all around good man. So we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about him. I'm gonna I'm gonna bring him in the room. Here.
Here.
What's going on, bro?
Yo, what up, bro?
I'm maintaining, man. I'm maintaining. I can't complain. I appreciate you coming on the platform to chop it up with me, and we talk about everything that's going on with you.
Of course, bro. You know this, man. Come on, man.
you know, Here. What up, Steve? You know.
Here.
Yes. So, but how's everything with you? How's life going? We talk pretty much every day, but you
Yeah.
know, we talk pretty much every day,
Yeah.
but about something, whether it's sports, whether it's wrestling, whether it's music, we talk, me, you and Steve are always chopping it up.
Facts.
So, but how's everything with you though?
Bro, man, everything is everything, bro. Man, it's been a while, bro. It's been almost 7 years that I've been in Florida. So, but everything is everything, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain, I guess. You know?
Yeah, you living, and you're alive, and that's what
Fact.
matters.
Fact.
We gotta do what we gotta do for us. And I spoke to you about this podcast months ago. What up, Prince? You got to come on here
Uh,
too, bro. You know,
what up,
we
Prince?
we spoke about this months ago,
Yeah.
and it's due now. Which is something you're doing. Like
Fact.
we got to do now. We can't just wait. We got to live in this moment. And
Yeah.
right now, listening to what you and your boys are doing, we're gonna get into all that, but it's
Fact.
great. So we're gonna start off with I try to really research my topics
Okay.
based on what I know about my subject and just based on what they put on social
Yeah.
media. So and then like, cause I'm not gonna lie, I had a little trouble at first, because I mean, not that like in a certain sense, you keep a lot of things private. You know
I
what I
do.
mean?
I do.
So but I was able to kind of finagle a full interview still, as you can see here,
Woo!
and even got a second page. We gonna play a little game that I
Okay.
took from another podcast. So we in here. Oh, my mama's here. Hi, mama. So 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 yeah, we got a lot to get into.
Facts.
Like my wife says, you shouldn't have called it Honest Hour. It ain't an hour. But I said I like the name. It stuck out.
Yo,
Should
to
I?
be honest, bro, I think the name is solid, man. I think Honest Hour is a good for what you trying to do with the questions and the topics and you getting to know people. I think Honest Hour kind of hits it on the head, bro, for real.
You know, yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. So we're gonna get started, and I was looking through way back to like when you first started, like your
Mm,
Facebook,
yeah.
or maybe it was Instagram. But one of the first posts on there said, "I never forget where I come from," and it's
Mm,
you riding through the Bronx.
yeah.
So obviously you're originally from the boogie.
Facts.
And listen, I've delivered there. I've been
Yeah.
there. I ain't gonna lie, I don't like it there. Like Steve said, this nigga do homework. I ain't never coming on the show.
Yo, facts. I ain't expected, bro. As soon as he brought it up, I was like, damn, that really was like one of my first posts on IG.
Yeah, so I don't like it there
Yeah,
personally, but
yeah,
for you, what was it like? You hear the stories. We
yeah,
know what the Bronx is.
yeah.
Like we don't have to sugarcoat it. But like, what was it like growing up, like in there? Like,
Man. But I tell you, growing up in the Bronx is tough if you don't got thick skin. You feel me?
okay,
Like, and it'll get you thick skin real quick, right? Especially like where I came from. Like, I grew up on Gun Hill. The best part about it was like we had a nice little, what do they call it? Like a duplex kind of thing, right? So like my aunt
right,
was on the first floor, we were on the second floor, my grandparents were on the third floor, right? So we all lived in the same house, right? In a
okay,
way. So, but like with that, bro, like you gotta watch who you talking to. Like either you're good with your neighbors or you're not, right? I used to be sitting in the crib, bro, and like people outside across the street fighting, bro, like just fist fighting for no reason, bro. Like either that or like you walking up the block, cops is posted on the block because there's too much stuff going around. So, bro, it was tough, man, and bless my mom and like bless my grandma and all of them. Like they did a good job trying to keep me and my sister out of a lot of that stuff. You feel me? But bro, it it's madness
yeah.
if you don't got the right supporting cast around you. I'll say that for sure.
So in a sense, it's a rough area. Like
100%.
we know what the Bronx is. It's rough.
100%.
Like even like I put it like this. Like people say things about Newburgh all the time, but to me, like I walk down Lander Street like it's nothing, or Liberty
Yeah.
Street, or wherever.
Yeah.
So and there's definitely worse places, right?
Facts.
So it was rough there. In a sense, was it rough for you personally growing up there?
Yeah, I would definitely say that, bro. It definitely was rough. The biggest thing I would say is, again, coming back to that supporting cast. What I got lucky with was, like, everybody on the block kind of knew, like, my grandparents or they knew my dad or they knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, they
Hmm.
knew my mom, right? So I was blessed to have the luxury of being, like, walking up the street and this person being like, yo, how your family or how you coming outside, this, that, and the third, right?
Right.
So I was always kind of, like, protected in that kind of sense. Um, but yeah, bro, like new people come to the block or people who don't belong there on the block, like bro, like you had to always be careful of who you talk to, like who you were around, like who you let see certain shit. So like for me, it kind of helped mold who I am now. So that's why, like to your point, you're like, dang, like I tried looking and like there's not much. Like I'm cautious of who I let in
Right.
because of stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So for
Absolutely.
sure, bro. Like I tell, like there's one thing like I don't think I've really like told a lot of people. Like certain people know, but like even like when I was growing up, like I used to walk to school. Like me walking to school by myself. Like I remember one day, like I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is elementary school. I got robbed walking to school. You feel me? And
Jesus.
like and my mom, you know, moms like they gonna panic. They gonna bug out regardless. Like took me
Mo-
down to the police station and all of that. But it's like
Mom's gonna be
for
momming. No
mom's gonna
offense,
be
mom.
momming for sure.
No offense,
So
mom.
taking me take me down to the police station, you know what I mean? They're questioning me like who did it? Do you know who did it? And me just sitting there stone faced, like not saying anything because I know that's what I grew up on.
Right.
I know you're not supposed to say nothing, bro. You're never supposed to snitch, right?
Right.
So it was rough, yes, 100%.
Wow. And then, so what age did you live there to? And then when you moved upstate, was it, did you first come to Newburgh or were you in another area and then you ended up there just eventually?
So it's like, bro, it's so weird, right? So because like people ask me this question a lot, like when, like, because everybody tries to say, hey, you ain't really grow up in the Bronx if you wasn't there for da 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 da, right? So for me personally, bro, like I count it as when I officially like moved up there,
Okay.
right? So like when I no longer like when I completely disconnected myself from the Bronx.
Yeah.
So like and that for me wasn't until honestly high school, bro, like my first year of high school because we went up there towards the end of elementary school. My mom was trying it out, didn't work out. We ended up moving back to the Bronx, right?
Okay.
But the crazy thing about it was I was still going to school up there. So like my mom, bro, like and again, bless her heart because she's a busy lady. Like and she worked. This is when she was working for the fire department. So she's working
Wow.
FDNY. She's doing dispatch. She's working in Brooklyn. So my mom would literally get us up. I can't even tell you what time, maybe 3, 4 in the morning, something like that. Drive an hour upstate to New Windsor to where her friend was. Drop us off there so we could go to school. Then drive back down to Brooklyn to go to work. And then finish at Brooklyn, come back up, get us, and then take us back home to the Bronx. Like that was literally every day, and then the weekends we're in the Bronx. That's literally how school was. So for me, like I didn't officially move upstate to New Windsor to until high school, like the first year of high school.
So pretty much when we met, that was like your
Yeah,
first real quick shout out to moms, the MVP.
facts,
Shout out to
facts.
moms because listen, listen, I don't know. Listen, my mother always went the extra mile. Always. She still does now, and I'm about to be 36 next month.
Yeah,
She still and she passes that extra mile on to my children. But that right there, that's an extra like 10 miles because
bro.
I tell you,
And I tell her
to go
just
from the Bronx
yeah,
is to upstate, then to go back to the Bronx. Because I'll tell you, when I'm driving for work and I'm like, okay, and it'll say, well, to Brooklyn, it'll say like Manhattan, and then this way's
mm-hmm.
Brooklyn. And by the time you get to Manhattan, if it's a certain time, you're in traffic.
Facts,
There's
facts,
no getting around it. Once you get down there in that congestion, like it's rough.
facts,
Or if you go too far through Queens, you're in Brooklyn. Like so, for her, that's an
bro.
MVP.
And I
So
I tell her to this day too. Like I don't know how you were doing that because like just thinking about it, like getting up as early as you had us getting up to drive us an hour to go back, hour and a half, 2 hours to then drive back, and then like that's crazy. So I definitely to this day I'm like I don't know how she did it because I don't know if I could have.
it's rough. It's rough. And but like, what up, Casey?
What up, Casey?
Yeah. So no, it's definitely rough. So it kind of now this next question becomes a little open ended
Yeah,
because it's what the question is what was the adjustment like moving to Newburgh or New Windsor, but what was the like going through all that? Because that's a lot
yeah,
of movement. So like, how did you adjust to that? And then how did you adjust once you finally were
yeah,
upstate? And then now a little sidebar question: when you moved up here,
yeah.
was your mom still dispatching in Brooklyn?
She was.
Okay,
So my mom. So I'll answer that one first. So my mom, even when we officially moved up there, she was still dispatching in Brooklyn. So like for her, like she was leaving. I want to say she was getting up like 4 in the morning every day to drive to Brooklyn to go do her job. To come back, she wasn't really getting home until maybe like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then turning around doing the same thing the next day, right? and then the adjustment, bro, it was like, honestly, it was like night and day,
Yeah.
right? Because I know at least New Windsor wise, it's a lot nicer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's you seeing grass. We talking about the Bronx where like, bro, it's just concrete. Like, you know what I'm
Yo,
saying? Like, I'm
you
looking
don't
outside and
even
there's
see
grass. Like,
you don't even see trees in the bro.
bro, no trees, no nothing, bro. So you looking outside, you like, all right, there's no trees, there's no grass, and now I'm switching to where it's like, all right, I got grass, there's a tree over there, damn, they got a playground in the complex, like, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, hey, how you doing? Like, I wasn't used to any of that, so
And meanwhile, you're
yeah,
you're
head
like,
on the swivel, bro. Everyone's like, so for me, like that part of it was an adjustment. What I got lucky with was during the time that she's running back and forth, like I made friends. You know what I mean? So like I knew people. I went to the elementary school I went to. I went with Dejan, like you know what I'm saying, like
yeah,
Hatcher. Like I went, like I knew all of these guys already, right? So it the transition was a little smoother, but like bro, it definitely was. It was night and day, huge difference.
yeah, yeah. To go from that chaotic
Yeah,
like element to calm, cool, no fighting like that, no
facts,
gunshots and
facts,
things like that.
facts.
It's like okay. It's like I don't know what to do without some people need that chaos to like live. Like it becomes such a part of them
Yeah,
that the quietness and no lights and no horns and no
facts.
crime like makes them uncomfortable. Like,
I know
so
that for
it's
sure.
definite,
For sure, bro.
it,
Especially when I
it's
moved out, especially when I got down here, like to Florida, bro. Like I remember, like I know, like at first I was in Orlando, so I had like the little busy. I had the this, that, and the third. But like when I like moved a little bit, like a year and a half later, like and I moved closer, like up, like towards like I think like it's Sanford or whatever. Like bro, dead silence, and
yeah,
like it was uncomfortable for me because it was like, how do I sleep without that noise? Like bro, like I'm hearing the creaking on the floors, or like I'm hearing the refrigerator. Like that's how quiet it was. And for me, it was like, all right, this is uncomfortable because I'm used to the madness going around outside.
right.
That's my comfort zone. So that you hit that on the head. That's facts.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like, because I've heard people say like I was born technically like in Poughkeepsie, but I
Mm-hmm.
only lived there for like a month. And then the way my dad explains it was like my mom decided she didn't want to like stay home, like go
Mm-hmm.
back to work because childcare was expensive. So my dad was my dad was at the time he I guess we were in Newburgh, me and my mom. He was still in Poughkeepsie. He would come back and forth. So, but we moved to Newburgh when I was like a month old.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know Poughkeepsie. I was just born. You know, and
Hey, Smooth, what up, bro? My my fault, bro. My fault.
so so I can definitely kind of be in tune with that. So when when did like music come into play? Because now when I first met
Yeah.
you, it was it was you was always around like IRL. You was
Mm-hmm.
always around what's it called? Jesus.
Clayton,
Marat Marat.
Marat too. Marat
Yeah.
Elias. Yep.
Yeah, Marat, Elias, and you guys were always like a foundation of always just kind of toying with music, like that's how
Yeah.
I at least remember it.
Yeah.
Like at first, it was just kind of like okay, you kind of did it just like for shits and giggles, like you were kind of just messing around with it. But I want to know, was that the first like your first not experience. I'm trying to get the right word, but I can't find it.
First time
Was that your?
dabbling in it.
My,
First time dabbling in it. First time messing around with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, was it like that, or did you have some prior experience with it prior?
So so music was always like it's crazy because music was always like a love thing for me. Like, and I think I attribute that to my dad, right? Because like growing up, my dad had me listening to like the Jackson Five, the Earth, Wind and Fire, and this and that, right? So music has always been like it does something for me. It's always been that, right? So it wasn't really until like I heard like people like Eminem or Big Pun and like stuff like that where I was like, dang, like these guys are articulating their words in a way where it's like everybody's relating to it, or like they're getting whatever they're getting off their chest. So with that, to your point, right? I dabbled in it like with them, but like before that, no. Like I wasn't writing, I wasn't like freestyling, I wasn't really doing anything. All I know is like I loved it.
Right.
Right. So when I first started messing around with it, I was like, oh wow, this is like this does something for me. Like I can't explain it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's, and especially like for me, if anybody like knows me, or like to your point, like I'm secretive. I keep everything to myself. So like I don't project what's going on with me. I don't tell nobody what's going on with me. Like I keep all of that
Right.
here. Right. So writing was like a way for me to get it out. Making music was a way for me to get it out. So like when I started doing it, I'm like, all right, this is cool. Like we'll dabble in it. Like this is all right. Like I wasn't really taking it serious, to your point.
Right.
Right. And then I think I started taking it serious when we started mingling with Clayton, like Phenom. Like once we started mingling with him, bro, like that's when we started doing songs. That's when like
Yeah.
we started doing shows. And like that's when it got more serious.
Right.
That's when I was like, all right, you know what? I actually like I love this. Like I love doing this. Like I can do the shows and I can make the music, and then like progressing through it, it just became like second nature.
Yeah.
Like so yes, during that time, bro, we were just doing it for like shits and giggles, bro. Like we were just messing around with it. But like it got serious for me like when we started messing around like with Clayton.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So now, now that brings up something I didn't even think of. So when that started happening, obviously you really didn't know the
Mm-hmm.
art of how to perform.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell
like
no.
so like I had a guest a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
Andromeda, who she told me, she just started making music seriously like last year.
Mm.
So she didn't, there was a lot of things as she progressed and it happened kind of rapidly on
Mm.
her. She didn't understand with the business side of the music as well as the performing side.
Yeah.
So for you, like coming into it, because when you do a show, you have to do business to get to the performance.
Facts.
There's always, you got the venue, the time, the
Facts.
pay, how much minutes we got, which acts we're between. Like, and I'm sure those are the things I could think of off top, but I'm sure there's a whole bunch of layers to it. The contracts and this and that, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of pieces. So, how was it for you learning the business aspect, and it says at the same time, really experiencing performing, because
Yeah.
you're really trying to juggle both things. Like a lot of artists, their first performance is probably terrifying. Even if it's in a group of even if it's a group of 50 people, it's probably
Yeah.
terrifying. But you wouldn't. Most people don't believe this when I say it, but I don't like public speaking.
Mm.
As crazy as that sounds,
Yeah.
I could be up. I could just be in front of 20 people with all them
Yeah.
eyes on me, and it's just uncomfortable. So, so what was it like for you to really balance the two things and learn them?
So what I'll say is again, I'm gonna say I'm thankful for people like Clayton, right?
Yeah.
Because the business side of it, the aspect side of it, that all came from him. Like him working out, like, all right, we're gonna do a show here, or we're gonna do a show here, or hey, let's work this out. Where Nights In, like you remember Nights In, like we were doing shows there. Like
Yeah.
him working out how that was gonna work was crazy, right? So
Yeah.
seeing him kind of juggle that and then moving to like the performance aspect of it, bro, like first performance was terrifying. But like, bro, terrifying because it's like it's one thing when you're around your friends
Right.
and you're performing a song and your friends are vibing and you like y'all are in a groove and y'all like, yeah, like this sounds
This
great. It's
the
another
one. Yeah.
thing, yeah, it's another thing when you get in front of a crowd that don't know you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like ain't never heard your stuff. And now
Yeah.
it's like, damn, now I'm thinking about that. All these people are staring at me. Now your adrenaline's rushing. And like when your adrenaline starts going into overload and you start like shaking a little bit,
Yeah.
like so that kicks in. And now you're like, damn, like I don't want to forget my lines. Like I can't
Yeah.
forget my bars. So now that kicks in, and then if the music's loud, then it's like, am I overdoing it on the mic? Like, am I not loud enough? Like, can they hear
Right.
me? Like, do I stand still? Do I move
Right.
around? Like, all of that comes into play, bro. And I think our first real performance, I'm really trying to think back. Our first real performance was literally for NFA, and I think it was a talent show, bro. And I kid you not, that entire night went to shits because after that show, we
Uh-huh.
got arrested. Like, we
Oh.
got arrested after that show. So me, Ira, Clayton, like, we got arrested right after that show. So, and taken to the police station for disagreeing with the security guards. We got into it with the security guards. So they kicked us
Oh
off
boy.
for that. So, like, bro, like, our first performance, bro, was terrible. If you ask me, bro, it was terrible.
It
And
was a
it was so nerve wracking, bro. That was the first time where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Cause I don't like talking in front of people and all these people staring at me like, bro, like, I don't know, like, and then it's like, you don't know if they're gonna bounce, if they're gonna like it, if they're not gonna like it, or they're gonna boo you. Like, so
yeah.
I had that thought of, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this isn't what I thought it was gonna be.
Right, because that's a bad experience. Like the performance didn't go good, and then on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, you getting arrested
Yeah,
after the show.
yeah.
It's just like what is going on? Like why would I want to be subjected to this?
Facts.
Yeah, no, it's definitely rough. It's definitely rough. So aside, so you got through that, you navigated through that, you started to continue to take it
Mm-hmm.
seriously. So what is your creative process like when you're creating, or whether you're writing, or if you hear a beat, maybe you just like, because I was looking back at some of your older stuff. You used to send me a lot of these freestyles. You'd be
Mm-hmm.
ready, have the shades on, have the mic,
Yeah.
you'd be ready and you'd be spitting. So like, and I could tell a lot of times when you're spitting, when you were spitting, sending those videos, especially those,
Mm-hmm.
you usually had something to get off your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't like not saying like some people can just do it, like just freestyle, but the way you would say things and just the message you're conveying, I was like, oh, he's rapping, he's
Mm-hmm.
going through something, you
Yeah.
know. So what's the creative process like for you?
Oh my god, bro. My creative process has changed so much throughout the year, but I don't want to say years. I don't want to say it's changed. It's more of, I guess I've adapted, or I fine tuned. That's a better word. I fine tuned it a lot. So for me, like now, and like Clayton could tell you, like Phenom could tell you, like anytime me and him were in the studio, like, or even Elias, like Elias has been there a lot of it.
Hmm.
Paragon's been there for a lot of it too, right? Where a beat will come on, like at first back then it was honestly just hooks. Like hooks, I was like, and I'm still like that now. Like a beat will come on and I listen to it. You can put it on repeat, and then within a minute, 2 minutes, bro, I got a hook. Like I'll sit there and I'll mumble, and then I'm like, all right, I got
Right.
right, and I can go later. I can go lay the hook, and we're good. Like that's the foundation. Once I lay the hook, and then I'll go right. Like
Okay.
for me now, it's gotten to a place. Perfect example. Last song that I released, 2 Train, right? I literally, bro, like I was going through beats. I found that beat, and I want to say I finished the song in, bro, maybe like 10
Oh
minutes, and
wow.
and I went and I laid it down, right? So for me now, it's like it's whatever I connect with. Like as soon as I hear it, I'll know. Like I'll hear it and I'll be like, words will start going through my head, and I'm like, all right, I gotta write to this. This is the one I gotta write to,
Yeah.
right? So it's gotten to a point now where maybe I'll connect with it because it'll put me in a certain space, or maybe I'll
Okay.
connect with it because it'll bring me a memory that I had way
It
back when,
it
right? So
unlocks something.
yeah, so like it'll bring something up from some time in the past, or something that I've heard a friend tell me about, or however it's going. Like I can hear it, and like I'm instantly like, all right, I gotta put pen to paper, or now it's me just opening my phone and my notepad and just going.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So it's really just a setup for you.
Yep.
Like, some people say, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that. Like, everyone's is different. Like, when they're in that creative process.
Bro, I can be anywhere, bro. I can be in the car. Like I've written songs while I'm driving to work, bro. And I've had it done by the time I get to work. And my drive to work, depending on what traffic look like, is maybe like 30, like 25, 30 minutes, bro. So I can finish
Yeah.
the song by the time I get to work. Like it doesn't matter like where I am. Like as soon as it comes to me, I'm like, all right, I have to write.
Yes. Yes. Like, cause some people, like, they'd be like, oh man, like they'll think of something and they gotta write it, or they gotta put a note in their phone or something, like this bar is being used at some point
That's
down the road. I
smooth.
don't know when, but it's
Smooth put
being
the
used.
Smooth wrote in there. He completely right. Sent LR a beat, no concept. He sent that shit back literally the next day. Yeah, that's facts. You right, bro.
Oh man. Yeah, no. So well, that's good that you're able to do work and quality work, because he goes hard on his stuff as well.
Hmm.
One thing I overlooked is who are some of your inspirations, and name one album that changed your perspective on hip hop.
Ooh, Jesus. Inspiration, bro. That's a crazy good one. Inspiration wise, I take a lot from M.
Okay.
Like M has always been huge for me because M was the first artist that I listened to where it was like he literally said whatever came to his head. There was no filter.
Yeah.
Like there was no nah, maybe I shouldn't. Like nah, if he gonna say it, like he said it. So M for sure. I always loved Fab because bro, like I don't care what nobody say. Like there is never a bad Fab verse. Like
Oh
never,
yeah, no.
bro, never. Like bar crazy. You feel me? So M Fab. Whoo, believe it or not, I gotta go Ja because the way Ja was able to make hits, like
Oh,
scratch whatever 50 did to him, but like bro, before that, like there was never a song that he put out that wasn't a hit, that wasn't a
but
smash.
even after that, they had some bangers.
Yeah,
Even after like the prime years of Murder Inc., they had some hits after. They if it's one thing they knew how to do, is they knew how to pump out hits.
facts. And bro, like man, you said album wise, Jesus Christ. Um,
Yeah, that's a little bit tough. So if you have three albums you can think of, I know one is tough, and that's a lot of music. That's a
bro,
lot of music.
I'd probably go M. It'll probably be the Slim Shady LP for sure.
Okay.
Guilty Conscience was always like a him and Dre going back, bro.
Uh,
What,
just
bro?
you.
Like that messed me up because it was just like, bro, like it's two dudes, like they're going back and forth, but they're talking from like a perspective of this person, and like it was different,
Yeah.
right? So that for sure was one that changed my perspective with just like production and just lyrics and just the concepts and um, damn, and I'm really gonna have to think if there's anything else, but that one for sure, bro,
Yeah.
for sure for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah. I know that was a little bit of a tough question.
100%. 100%. That was a good one.
you
It
know,
was a good one though, bro. It was a good
but
one.
you see that means I'm doing my job if I'm not making it easy on you. You're
Yeah.
like, So, real quick, I'm gonna bounce off of the interview for a second.
Okay.
Now, being that mostly most of your songs are in
Yeah.
groups, are group songs. I watch a lot of podcasts, and I try to not repeat, but so you take things from
Mm-hmm.
them. And this one I just jacked because, listen, I do believe on Drink Champs, one or the other's phenomenal.
Mm.
So I put a list together. It's a little bit large, but I think you're gonna like this. So I'm gonna ask you two different things, and then you just tell me which one you'd prefer. So Pete Rock and CL Smooth
Oof.
or Boogie Down Productions?
Bro,
Why,
I'm
why do you look stressed?
gonna go Pete Rock.
Okay, okay, okay. Outcast or Tribe Called Quest?
Whoo. Outcast.
Okay, okay. The Locks or Mob Deep?
Ooh. mm.
He said, bruh.
The Locks.
All right. G Unit or Dipset?
G Unit all day. All day.
Fugees or De La Soul?
Fuji.
The Roots or Brand Nubian?
The Roots.
Black Star or Black Moon?
Black Star.
Bone Thugs or Ghetto Boys?
Bone Thugs for sure.
EPMD or Cypress Hill?
Cypress Hill.
Okay. Okay, those are the group ones.
Mm.
So now you know I got to do this one. Tupac or Biggie?
Oh my god. Bro, I feel like because I'm from New York, I gotta go Biggie by default, bro. I gotta go Biggie by default, bro. But they were both. I felt like for me personally, bro, they were both two different artists, bro. Like just the way they went about doing things, like the records they put out. Like I just felt like they were both completely different. I would lean. Oof. I probably lean Biggie.
Okay, okay. Jay-Z or Nas?
Yo, bro, would you believe it or not, bro? I think Hove overrated, and I never really got into Nas as much as I got into as much as everybody
We
else did.
we did have that
Yeah.
conversation. So you gonna go with neither for that one?
I'm gonna go with neither for that one.
Okay, okay. R. Kelly or Chris Brown?
Shit. Come on, bro. You gonna talk about R. Kelly or Chris Brown? I'm like, damn. You know what?
He said, Gomez said drink.
Damn. I'm gonna go. My sister's watching. She a big Chris Brown fan.
What did she like breathe that question came?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, man. The other guy we can't speak of. You know what I'm saying? Even though R. Kelly had hits, I'm gonna go Chris Brown.
Okay. 112 or Jagged Edge?
Damn, bro, you really went deep. Oh, deep into the vault. Oh my god. Damn, and I love both of them. I'm gonna go 112.
All right, I got two more. This one I just thought of on the cusp. Michael Jackson or Prince?
MJ.
Now, this one's open-ended, only because it's current. Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, or Big Sean? And if you can, number them 1 through 4.
Number one through 4. It depends on where we going. Or are we going lyrical, or are we going like what they've
Just
done?
your preference. This is your personal preference.
My personal preference, bro. So I'd go. My personal preference, I'd go Cole. I'd go Drake, Big Sean, Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. I gotta think of more of those. That was a good time.
Nah, that was, bro. You that one right there. Keep that one. For future ones, keep that for sure.
Yeah, because that I just I was just thinking of ways to do things different. So the audience was even chiming in. I don't know if you was peeping that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That seems like
They
one
was
to
talking
keep.
trash. Yeah, keep that one.
Absolutely.
Keep
He
that
said
one.
Big Sean over K
Bro,
Dot.
lyrically, Big Sean is super underrated. I would probably put them neck and neck lyrically, bro. But it's my preference, bro. In terms of like what I listen to the most, bro. I don't really listen to K Dot that much.
Right. If you look at it too, J. Cole is king to me. Like that man can't do nothing wrong.
Especially not
Like,
right now.
yeah,
He's
exactly.
in a whole different space.
Because for me personally, I would slip Big Sean ahead of Kendrick too, but on a personal preference. But in terms of storytelling, Kendrick Lamar
Oh
has all
yeah,
four of them.
yeah. K
By
Dot,
by far,
it's not close.
because Kendrick Lamar is not something you got to be in the mood to like listen to him.
Facts.
Like there's no, you could throw a Drake song on and you can be sad, you can be happy, you can dance, you could cry, you could fly, like you could do all these different things.
Facts.
But yes. So I'm gonna flip back here and ask you another deep question here.
What's up, bro?
How do you stay authentic when sometimes the world
Mm-hmm.
wants you to say that certain images are more important than substance? So,
Ooh,
right, yeah. So, the world's saying this is what we want,
yeah,
but how do you stay authentic and finding those lines between the two?
bro. I think for me personally, and it's crazy because we have this conversation like me and like the clique, like everybody that I rap with, like we have this conversation all the time, right? So it's really about just remembering who you are and remembering what you did it for. So like for me, I never really did music to make everybody else happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I never really said to myself, "Hey, I'm gonna start putting pen to paper, or I'm gonna start rapping because this is what this person wants me to do," or "Hey, I'm gonna make this song because this person likes this song, and I know they like this kind of music, so I'm gonna do it." Right? I
Right,
always felt like music was whatever I constructed it to be. Like at the time, like whatever I wanted to do, if I wanted to do this type, or maybe I want to touch on this genre or whatever it is. Right? So for me, it's always about staying true to the reason why I started doing it.
right.
That's how. But to your
Okay.
point, bro, like everybody's like, "Hey, man, you should make music like this, or this music like this is gonna pop, or this is what's gonna get you here or gonna get you there."
Right,
I can't do that because then I'm not being myself.
right. You're not being who you are authentically.
100%.
You know, sometimes you have to be, sometimes people want you to be someone that you're not. And sometimes they want you, to step outside of your comfort zone.
Facts.
Certain, and even artists we love, like that's why, even though I hate that song at Christmas, I love Mariah Carey's. You knew who I was gonna say too. I love Mariah Carey's music, minus that song. But because the formula's never
Mm-hmm.
changed. She's never deferred from who she is as an artist. The
Facts.
music is the same,
Facts.
and it still works for her. It still works for her.
She's still selling millions of records every year, bro. Every
Exactly.
year.
Her biggest mistake was Nick Cannon. That's about it.
Facts. Facts. Facts.
So I understand how you do this personally because I've seen it and knowing you, hearing it. But for the audience, how do you incorporate your personal life and your emotions into your music?
Ooh, God. It really depends on the type of music that I'm making at the time or like the beat, right? So believe it or not, bro, like I got to a point like down here where like I was like super secretive and I didn't even want to like really even like be emotional or like
Mm-hmm.
get too personal in a lot of these songs that I was doing, right? But the two other people I rap with, like my boy Trey and my boy Ro, Poet X and Co-Summers, um, they were the ones who pushed it. Like record, what is it on the joint we did for Born for This, Rainy Nights.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably like the most emotional song that I have pinned, and they were the ones who pushed me to do it, right?
Okay.
and then afterwards I'm like, I don't even listen. Like I listen. I don't even listen to that song, bro. Like because of the space that that song put me in, right? So
Yes.
it really depends for me now. I guess just the song that I hear, like to what we said earlier. Like if it unlocks that part of me, like I'm like I'm more transparent to it.
Right.
The other thing is like, and they've helped me see the light. I guess what it is when it comes to this, right? Something that I may have gone through at some point in my life or something that I'm going through now may help somebody else that's currently going through it. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, all right, now I understand why me putting something personal on a record may mean to somebody else that may hear it.
Yeah.
So that's honestly what changed a lot of that for me and like what helps me when it comes to doing those emotional joints.
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes transparency is important because what happens is people can paint a vivid picture through your
Mm-hmm.
words, and they can visualize the words you're saying and just really piece it together, which is important. You know, it helps you connect with your audience. You know, you want to be able to find that common ground with them, and it's important that you do that and be able to navigate through different pieces in order to do that. So that's a beautiful thing. It's funny you brought up the click because that's kind of where we're going to.
Let's go.
So, so you said you moved down there to
Mm.
Florida 7 years
So
ago.
it's 7 years in May. Next month makes 7 years.
So what made you decide to move?
Damn. So I got so honestly, bro, like me personally, I felt like I got to a point up there where like I was hitting a ceiling. Like
Hmm.
I felt like there was nowhere else for me to pivot. And
Okay.
then with everything that was going on at that time, especially like with my baby moms and stuff like that, right? I
Yeah.
needed I needed the fresh start. I needed the fresh start, and anytime that I came to visit Florida, Florida always felt like home. Like
Okay.
it never felt like a vacation to
Yeah.
me. So it was like it made sense for me to make that move. Like I needed to make that move for me.
And a lot easier to see those Miami Heat you love too.
That too, facts. That too, that too. They on TV down here, so that's facts.
You know, and even going in person, it's easier to hop to
That's
Miami
facts.
living in the state than to New
That's
York.
facts.
You know.
That's facts.
Okay, so that's that's a good reason to move. You know, because sometimes you gotta grow. You gotta leave to grow. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta leave the nest to grow, right? So, which now brings me to the click. So let me just give y'all some compliments here. You brothers are really when when I hear groups, I think of certain groups don't go together.
Mm-hmm.
Like every group I named in this this or that game we played, they all go
Yeah.
together, right? And sometimes groups just don't work out. They got to really just figure it out.
Yeah.
You guys have the skills and the talent and the passion to really go down as one of those great groups.
I appreciate that, bro.
No, just saying it
I
like
appreciate
it
that.
is. So, like I can hear it in what you guys speak about and what you guys rap about, and you just rap off of each other so well. The cadence always fits, and the
Mm-hmm.
timing is good, and when to come in and when to go out.
Yeah.
And it's something that takes a lot of work, and there's a lot of mixing involved, and a lot
Facts.
of a lot of playing with the sounds, and you giving it more of this, giving it less of that. So you would know better than I. So what I want to know is with these two gentlemen, how did it come about? Like, were you guys friends? Like, are they from down where you
Mhm.
are? like so how did you meet, and then
Whew.
how did you decide to become a rap group?
So crazy. So this is so I moved down here, right? When I first moved down here, like, believe it or not, bro, I stopped making music. Like, I was done.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't doing the music shit anymore. Like, I had told myself, like, I was gonna stop because it's time consuming, and then I'm putting my own money into everything, right? So it's expensive. So I told myself, all right, I'm done. So I moved down here and I started working, and then what ended up happening was, and it was so organic, bro. What ended up happening was, so first dude, Ro, Poet X,
Yeah.
right? We ended up being on the same team at the job that we're at,
Okay.
right? And we ended up talking, we ended up chopping it up, right? I found out that he did like spoken word poetry. So I was
Okay.
like, so he never even rap. Like rap was never his thing. It was just, yo, I do spoken word. That's what I do. Like that's what I like to do. That's how I get my emotions out. Cool. Right. So we vibed off of that because I was like, oh, I used to make music. He was like, oh, for real? Like, do you have stuff? Like, can I hear it? And I started letting him hear some stuff. And he was like, yo, like, bro, like, you were really good. Like, why'd you stop? And I
Yeah.
was like, I was like, bro, it got to a point where I was like, all right, I got to cut it off. Right. So music didn't take off from there. So I still wasn't doing music. And then what ended up happening was we moved to another team. We moved to another department.
Yeah.
Right. And then here comes Cold Summers into the picture, right? And even for him, it was like we all started to vibe, we all started to click, right? We started becoming closer, we started being more friendly,
Yeah.
right? So even with him, he was like, I used to dabble in music, but I never took it serious. Like I was like, I can do it, but I never really like did it enough to take it to the point where I am now, right? So what ended up happening was it was us three. It was the dude that used to produce our beats on the same team, right? The
Yeah.
dude that does all our engineering, we were friends with his brother because his brother was on the team that inserted him. And what ended up happening was the dude that was doing our beats prior was just like, yo, I'm gonna go over to our engineer's crib. And he's like, excuse me, he's like, I'm gonna go and we're all gonna just chill. Like, you should come. I'm gonna do some beats. Like, I heard your music. Like, you used to be fire. Like, you definitely should come. Like, and everybody's gonna be there. So I was like,
Okay.
yo, all right, cool. Like, I'll go. Like, it's whatever. Like, it's no big deal. We all gonna kick it. It is what it is. So we went, and then that day, like, they started playing beats. They started messing around with stuff. And this was the first time in a long time that a beat played, and I started getting that feeling again.
Yeah.
So then,
You were like inspired.
yeah. So I was like, okay, so all right, we're here. Like the booth here, whatever. Like, let's get to it. Like, I'll write something and we'll lay it down. And then Cold Summers did the same thing. He was like, man, I never really did it, but I'll mess with it. Poet X did the same thing. Yeah, he was like, bro, like spoken word is more my thing, but I'll do it. Like, I'll mess with it. So we laid that song down, and bro, from there, it was literally like it happened so fast. Where it was like, all right, now we went from this song to this song to this song to this song to this song. Project. This song, this song, this song, this song. Project. This song, this song, this song, this song. Project. So it happened so fast
Yeah.
where it was just like, damn, like, yo, like we can do this. And the fact that I have two people that are like in love with it the same way that I'm in love with it, that
Mm-hmm.
can speak the language, that have the motivation, that want to do it, it was different for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they were the ones that literally pulled me back into it because I was so done. I was like I'm good. Like I'm gonna go the corporate route. Like this is what it is.
Right.
But they pulled me back into it, bro. So it came together so organically, and like the rest just bro. It's history, bro. It's crazy because
So
I didn't know them. And Rose from Poet X is from Wartown, Massachusetts. Fucking Cold Summers is from Jacksonville. So like we all ended up moving down to this one place, working at the same job on the same team for it to all come together like that, bro. It was crazy.
so it was really, really organic.
Yep,
Like there was
100%.
no, it kind of just happened like on its own. There was
Yep.
no forcing the issue, and it wasn't even on purpose.
Nope.
Like
It
like
wasn't,
like
bro.
it wasn't even like y'all said, yo, we're gonna lay something down. We're gonna go make a track and see where it goes. Nah, y'all just was like, oh, let's
Yeah,
just
we were like, I guess.
like,
I mean, we'll try.
we're here, like,
Yeah.
might as well. And then like, boom. So wow, that's awesome. So now I understand your creative
Mm.
process by yourself,
Yeah.
but now with two other people, there's definitely
It's
a different
different.
creative
Yeah.
process because there's layers and there's pieces. So what's the creative process like collectively when
So,
you're together?
man, creative process now, smooth. Yeah, that's facts. That's God. Because that's one of those things where, like, I put it down, and it's like, I guess when you're meant to do something, like, it'll find its way back to you. So that's facts. That's God. But the creative process, bro, it was different because now it's like a beat comes on, and it's like, obviously I'm the one that they do it to me all the time, bro. Like it doesn't fail. Like even now to this day, bro, they'll send a song, like Cold Summers will send a song with his verse on it, and he'll be like, "Hey, yo, I laid a verse on this. Rich, you got the hook." So like, it still was me on the hook
Yeah,
or me figuring out what the hook was gonna look like,
yeah,
and then it turns into, all right, who's going first? Who's going second? Like who's in the middle? Like, does this song flow where it's gonna be better off where I start or I end?
yeah,
Or you start or me in the middle. So like it's a process of figuring that part of it out. And then it's a process of once the hook is laid down, bro, like we kinda all agree on the direction
right.
of where we're going with the song. Right. So the process was different in that regard where it's like now it's not just me. Like I got two other minds and I got two other creative people who kind of want to put their spin or kind of want to put their input on something. So it's about the communication is probably the strongest point of this because now it's like, all right, what are you going to do here? What are you going to do here? Are you going to say something here? Should I come in here? Should I come in there? So it's different. It's different.
Yeah,
It's layers to it
yeah,
now. Whereas for me, I knew, all right, I'm gonna do a hook here. I'm gonna do one verse. Maybe I'll do two, or I'll end it like this. So it's layers to it now.
right. It's not just you, because it's kind of like, and it's funny because I'm going to use an analogy that I heard earlier. And I know anyone who knows me and knows you knows we're both big wrestling fans.
Facts.
And I know you haven't watched the biography yet, but there
Not
was
yet.
on Roman, but I'm just going to use an analogy from it. They were talking about when Roman went from being in the Shield to by himself, how the fans really rebutted him, and I was one of those guys
You were
because
heavy,
you were
heavy.
on. I was one of those guys. I was like, I don't want this guy. They're telling me what to like. Now I got my Roman shirts ready for WrestleMania this
Facts.
weekend.
Facts. It's
Now,
crazy.
it's like I don't want Cody Rhodes. Screw him.
Yeah,
He's why are they just doing this and making it crazy? So,
crazy.
and I think it was Stone Cold because they got a lot of the legends speaking about Roman, and he said that when he was in the Shield, he had to do 33% of the work,
Mm,
but when he went on his own and he couldn't cut a promo, it was all on him.
mm.
Everything he did was on him. So now for you, the point I'm making is it's the other way around. Like
Yep.
even though you worked with guys, locally here,
Hmm.
like Phenom and Elias and IRL, you guys weren't essentially making tracks together.
Mm.
You were kind of doing your own thing and
Yeah.
you had everything on you. Now it's kind of the reverse. You have to take 33% of the work and say, okay, well, how does this work? Because I don't care what anyone says, the sequencing of a song and a project is important. If it's
Facts.
not sequenced correctly, you're like, what is this?
Yep.
So that's very that's very important.
Yeah.
So for you guys as a collective, to see how so sequencing is very easy for you to
Hmm.
do. It seems like you
Yeah.
kind of just go with it. Now, how were you able to take that sequencing from the creative process when you
Mm-hmm.
guys started doing performances? Because once again, it's kind of the same thing. You've done performances
Yeah.
to this point with other people, but now these are your guys. You guys are getting deep rooted into this thing. And so how did you
So, want to hear something crazy?
go for it?
We have not done a live performance yet.
Really?
We have not. We have not done a live performance yet. Because the way I see it, right, you gotta look at the timeline, right? We started doing it when pandemic was like heavy,
So
right?
yeah, 20,
So
2020.
couldn't really get out there then, right? And then with everything that goes on now, the biggest issue, and that's the biggest issue, that's a lot of stuff that we talk about, right? So performances coming soon. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The biggest thing now is timing, because we're all older, we all got lives, we all know what that looks like, right? So we've practiced, we've wanted to practice, we've gotten together, we've done all that stuff. I think performance wise, it'll look good. I think it'll sound good. It'll be cohesive when we first get on that
Right.
stage. I think the biggest thing for them, right, because I've done it before, is what's it gonna look like for them when it's in front of a bunch of people. Like I told you my story in terms of how
Yeah.
my first performance looked, right? So
Absolutely.
for me, it'll be like riding a bike, right? Is it gonna be that way for them? And I've told them too, like when we've talked about it, when we've tried to start putting stuff together, it's I'm gonna help you out the best way that I can help you out. But it's like that's one of those things you can't simulate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can't simulate being in front of a live crowd and now you're thinking about your lines, or now depending on how you move, you got to watch your endurance and not getting tired here or not getting tired there. So performance is coming soon, but not quite yet.
Well, and also from what I've gathered from a lot of people who do music that I know
Mm-hmm.
is there's a science to performing that people don't think about.
Mm.
So, for example, on an earlier episode, my guest told me that one of the things is you have to train your voice
Yep.
to last one,
Yep.
and to make it to where you can still be heard, because sometimes you get a performance and they're screaming into the mic, and that's not cool. Like
Yeah.
you're not getting it, especially if you start, you think of these artists who do these world tours, like 50 Cent just did that huge tour last year
Mm-hmm.
with 50, 80, 100 dates. He
Facts.
really had to
Facts.
train his voice. So is that something that that you learned on top of that, and is it something that they're mindful of when that time comes?
Yes. So that is definitely something I learned on the fly. And again, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna scream his name from the rooftops. Like Clayton was huge, bro. Like to me, getting down how I wanted to perform, what the performances would look like, what my voice needs to sound like, making sure I don't overexhaust myself
Hmm.
in the beginning, especially if I got a whole set, right? So me doing 3 songs, 4 songs, and knowing like I can't, like this energy has to last from the beginning of this joint to the end of this joint, so I can't burn myself out, and then halfway through I'm sitting there like, damn, like how do, yeah, like how do I continue, and everybody can hear it,
Right.
right? So, and even to the point of if you're doing it with somebody else, because a lot of my songs, me and Clayton had one song or 2 songs, I can't even remember, where the one song for sure that we performed every time, like it had to be a point where the cadence was down, excuse me, where I'm not tripping over my words, or like I know, hey, he's gonna pause up this time, so I know I need to say this part. Like the cadence has to be there where we're not overstepping each other, right?
Right.
So it got to a point where it was a science for me and Clayton. Like me and Clayton on stage were just like we meshed,
Yeah.
we got it. So, and this is stuff that I've explained to them. This is stuff that we've all talked about and gone over. Like the biggest thing for it is because I've done a lot of them, right? I can kind of give you the rundown on what it'll probably look like, right? Or what you need to be
Hmm.
prepared for, or what you need to go with. So I think it'll look good, bro. I think it'll look cohesive as our music that it is now. Because even now, bro, like with songs that we do, we're literally not even in the same room anymore. Like I've got my setup at my house. Like they've got their setup at theirs. Like I can literally do a song, send it, and it'll bounce around, and we know where we need to go. Like we'll text, like, all right, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here. This is what it's gonna look like, and we'll bang it out, and then we'll send it to our engineer, and he'll he'll put it together, and it'll come out the way that we need it to come out.
Oh wow! So you don't even so. Do you do more of your records that way? Because it seems like a lot of artists do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have studios on their tour buses.
Mm-hmm.
They have a they have studios in their houses. And then if they shoot a video, that's when they see each other. Like, do you do a lot of it like that? Because it seems like, and this is just an opinion slash kind of semi observation. You watch a lot of older movies when they talk about rap music, you see, 8 or 9 artists or whoever in a room or in the studio writing, smoking, drinking, maybe a girl or 10, you know.
Facts.
you know.
Facts.
So now it seems like with the advancement of technology,
Mm-hmm.
you don't necessarily have to do that.
Yeah.
But is that something you guys do more of, or is there more or is there more in person song with
So
your engineer?
we do. I would say we do a little bit of both. I say
Okay,
right now it's more towards us doing this separately because we've gotten it down to a science at this point. Like even like
right,
our engineer is like, I know your voices, I know how you guys need to sound, how it needs to look, right? So even that's down to a science, right?
right.
So, but us being together and us being in the room and us piecing that together and us ordering food and us just chilling and laughing and cracking jokes, and we say it all the time. We need to just record what a session looks like for us because it's hilarious,
Yeah,
right? You can't replace those moments.
right.
Right. So we love having those moments together, but a lot of it now, like some songs is really just us being like, hey, like either it's me sending it or it's Trey sending it or Ro sending it. It's just like, hey, this is what I got. I like this for us. What do y'all think? I love it. I love it. And then it's literally off to the races.
Well, and I'm sure, let's be honest too, that it's probably more inexpensive,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and yeah, I know you're a father. I don't know if the other two gentlemen are fathers,
They are.
but or yep, are either one of them married?
No,
Okay, but
they are
but
not. But one is in a deep relationship. He might as well be married. We tell him that all the time.
so when you look at it, believe it or not, being that you do have that down, it's
Mm-hmm.
beneficial because in the long run, you're saving the money on the actual studio time.
Mm.
You're just really paying essentially your engineer to do what needs to be done
Yeah.
versus laying out thousands on the studio. And then you can kind of do it at your own leisure. Like, you could say, okay, we got this, this, and this, but this is the
Yeah.
deadline. That's 2 weeks away. So if whoever has a free minute, if it's Tuesday, it's like, listen, I have free time Friday. I'll get it done then.
Mm-hmm.
You have your leisure versus, and I think personally, there's probably less pressure because let's be honest, everyone suffers from writer's block.
Facts.
So like if you're like, okay, I gotta write this verse, but sometimes if you're in the studio with everyone, you're bone dry and you're wasting money. Versus now, you might be able to say, oh, okay, I don't have nothing
Yeah.
now. Let me get a couple days, and then something happens, boom, inspiration, and you're writing like more than you've ever written.
Facts.
So, like you said, you can't replace those memories, but in the same breath, if it ain't broke,
Don't fix
don't fix it.
it. Facts.
If it ain't broke,
Facts.
don't fix it.
Facts.
Seems like y'all got a great system, and that's that's what's really working for you.
Yep.
So I would keep going with it. So we also spoke about you doing production
Yeah.
and not beats.
Yeah.
You made that clear. So how did you get into doing the production? Did you essentially take classes on it, or was it just something like, all right, we got to do videos, we need production? You just kind of read up on it. Like,
Yeah.
how did it all start down that side of the spectrum?
Man. Um, honestly, bro, it was something that I wanted to do for a while, right? Because we talk about it, like it's expensive to do studio, it's expensive to buy beats, it's expensive to promo, it's expensive to do this, and then it's like, then I gotta pay for videos. You know what I mean? And like for us, videos, the first set of videos we did, I think the first one was Jesus. I'm trying to the killer video that we did. Second one was the Want You video that we did. Bro, we were coming out of pocket. Like, of course we were splitting it, but we were coming out of pocket almost $400. Just you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just for the video. To your point, like we all got kids,
Right.
right? So
Right.
it's like, man, we're looking at it like, all right, so I spend 400 here for this video, then another 400 here for this video. Then it cut down to, all right, maybe we'll do a song, a project, or something like that. But
Right.
then we're like, I want to do a video for this, and I want to do a video for this, and I want to do a video for this, right? So for me, it's like, all right, well, if I wanted to just put my own videos together, like me recording it, me cutting it, putting it together, and all of that stuff, what is it going to look like, right? So I kind of started toying with it when I started doing the freestyle videos.
Right.
Like me putting those videos where I did Crybaby and Imported and all of those joints, right? That was me kind of toying with it because I was recording that stuff myself and I was putting it together myself,
Yeah.
right? So then with that, I'm like, okay, so now what would something larger look like? So like when I did Loving on Me, like that was me. Like I recorded all of that like outside, bro, like believe it or not, with my phone. Like I
Phones are
recorded,
amazing.
bro. I recorded all that with my phone. I bought a program. I put it into the program, and I pieced all of that together myself.
Wow.
Right. So when I did that, I was like, okay, we can do this. Like, we don't need. I don't need this. We don't need to spend $400. Like, all we need is a good camera, right?
Yep.
And we can piece the stuff together. When we did Push the Line was us. Like, we
Wow.
recorded it ourselves. Like,
That was dope
and
too.
and we pieced it together ourselves, right? So from that point, we were just like, all right, now it's just a matter of we got to get ourselves together in the same place, and we can record whatever we want to record as long as we have the concept of what we want to do.
Right.
So now it turns into all right, now there's planning. All right, what do you want this video to look like? We want it to look like this. Where do we want to shoot it? Now we're looking for location. So it literally, bro, there wasn't like a book. We didn't take classes. We just started piecing this stuff together ourselves.
And YouTube.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
YouTube. Because now you got a good camera. All right, let's just say it costed you $800.
Yeah,
That's 2 videos,
facts.
and it's a one-time investment. And now you can, as long as you take care of it, you could probably get a good 8, 10 years out of it, right? And now you're good, and you're piecing it together,
Yep.
and you're doing these things, the video, like fully independent,
Yep.
And are you guys considered fully independent artists as well?
Yep, we are fully independent artists ourselves. So it's you got to look at that too, right? So to your point, right? We started piecing everything together ourselves. So even what we are on right now, like our Declick ENT, that's an LLC, that's ours. So
Yeah.
that's us. Like we did everything like ourselves. So we went out, we purchased the LLC, we did all of that stuff. We make sure all of our stuff is up to date, right? So independent artists, we own our own stuff, right? So even like now, like we joke about it, we're like, all right, well, what happens the eventual day of somebody being like, all right, I want this. We kind of have it down to the point where it's like, I don't think we really need a huge amount. Like, I don't want to sign myself over to anybody. Like,
Right.
do I want your help? Do I want a machine that can push me to where we can't go? 100%. But I don't want to sign off what we're doing because we literally have everything in house, bro. Like, our
Right.
music stuff we do in house. Our videos we do in house. Like we have us. We have my boy Cold Summer's cousin. Our boy Taylor May. Like he records our videos. Like my boy, we have our own engineer. Like his brother is literally the one that does our merch. Like bro, like everything we do is literally in house. So it's like independent, fully, 100%.
Yeah. Wow. So by the way, you have to send me where I can get some of that merch.
I got you.
I
I got you, bro.
definitely gotta get some of that merch. So yeah, so now you do everything in house. And a lot of times too, when you sign to these labels, they want the rights to your music.
Facts.
And, couple other local artists that I know,
Hmm.
and the same ones, specifically, specifically Osmond.
Yeah.
He, his last album was real deep, and he put it was up, and then I went to I shared it to a friend because I was like, "Yo, it's dope. You gotta check it out." And then he was like, "Yo, it's not there." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not there?"
Hmm.
And it was like it was there, but all the songs are blacked out. And he had posted a video stating how something got messed up, and he had to take it down because of
Mm.
something with the rights to the music, and then he had to put it back up.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times the record labels want the rights to your music.
Facts.
And they want to sell it at the lowest amount, and they want, and it's hard because the artist doesn't truly make money off their music anymore. Let's just call it what it is.
That's facts.
With the streaming services, I read that it's like I don't remember the number, but it's like an astronomical amount of listens equals one sale.
Facts.
So it's just like how does the artist make
Hmm.
money? And another artist that I've become friends with, he lives in the Bronx, and he puts up videos, and I just came across him, and he had said in one of his videos that artists use music to get to the next stage, to
Hmm.
get to whatever it is, because the music gets your face well known. Look at Nori, look at Joe Budden.
Facts.
I mean, hey, even look at Ryan Clark and what's the other guy's name?
Yeah.
The Pivot. The other
Uh,
guy. I don't know the other guy's name. They were
Ryan
football
Clark
players.
and Channing Crowder and yeah,
Yeah.
Brett
You
Taylor.
know, so even, they utilized one platform to start another. So, that's a big deal. So with the production, you it was or with the video production, how how passionate are you about it? Is it something that you foresee doing on top of music or after music or with the music? I mean, obviously with
Yeah.
it because you're doing the production for the videos, but is it something you might look into being or doing later on down the road?
Yo, bro, maybe, but maybe it depends on where I'm at and how I feel about it because, bro, it's a lot. Like
Yeah,
it's a like you never really know how much work goes into it until it's time to do it. Like, cause recording it easy. Like that part
yeah,
of it is cake. As long as you can get together, you can find out what locations you want, you can find out the angles, the shots, how you want to do it. That part of it is easy, right? It's the part of putting it in the program, and now I got to piece it together the way that I want. Now I have to figure out what transitions I want to put on it, what effects I want to put on it. Like, man, now you mess up one piece, now something's out of order. Now the words are not matching the music. So it's like it takes so much time to actually sit and do it. And if you're not patient, it can aggravate the hell out of you. Because I remember the first video that I tried to piece together, I was sitting there. Push the Line was the first video I think that I really, really tried to piece together. And I sat there for days
damn,
and I could not figure it out. And at one point I was like, bro, this video is never coming out. Like we're never fucking putting this out because I can't figure out the timing
right,
or I can't figure out what transitions I'm putting on it. So I'm like, yo, I'm done. Like I'm not stressing myself with this.
yeah,
So it really depends on where I am, and I guess I want to say how much better I get, or how fine tuned I can kind of get that process. If I can fine tune the process where it makes it a little bit easier, because creatively for me, the effects and stuff are the easy part. Like that comes after getting everything together. So, and I look at that the same way I look at me penning something, right? So if I can figure that out, maybe. But right now, hell no.
he said,
Hell
"Hell no."
no. Hell no.
I'm with you. And I can even see that. As doing photography. I got a lot of goals, and one of those goals is to eventually have a media company. which this podcast will be under the photography. And I'd like to do videography, but I'd like to get to a point to where I bring someone in and I take a percentage and you do all of it.
I feel you.
Like if you tell me you want, however much a job, okay, we can work that price out. But I'll take the percentage. You keep most of the money. Just do it. Because I asked another friend about that, and they informed me like, "Yo, it's a lot to piece
It
a
is
video together,
100%.
especially from a phone. It's a lot.
100%.
It's a lot." So now the click seems to be ascending,
Right.
and hear I hear improvement in each song, each project. I hear a new hunger, like the fire is
Yeah.
burning. And I said, what direction do you guys see yourself going to as a collective? So you said you didn't want to be, signed into anyone. So, well, what direction collectively do you see this group going musically and outside of it?
Um, man, outside of musically, bro, it's always gonna be, it's like a family for us. So like we've always said, like we wanted to build something where we can kind of like give it to our kids, right? So because the Click ENT literally is our business. That's literally
Yeah,
what it is. It's our business. So it's something that we can always give to our kids, like regardless of. I know like Poet X's son, like he likes to draw, he likes to be artistic, right? So like stuff like that, like I'm already doing the videography, like we can work that in somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So for that side of it, like it's family for us. For the side of it, where do I see it going? Man, bro, we've had a lot of good things happen that I think have helped kind of like propel us in ways that I don't think a lot of people even know. Like I remember the first big thing that happened, right? And you would probably appreciate this, right?
Yeah.
So we did a song on Born for This. I feel like every man will appreciate this, right? We did a song on Born for This and we titled it Rachel Starr. Everybody knows who Rachel Starr is. If you don't know who Rachel Starr is, I don't know what rock you've been living under, right? Rachel Starr literally heard the song, literally replied to us that she was adding it to her playlist. That for us, that was huge. So
Wow.
it was like, all right, that's dope. And then from there, it moved to when we dropped the song Tommy Egan, right, bro? That was probably the biggest thing for us because the actual actor Joseph Sikora heard the song and he shared it to a story, and it, bro,
Bro.
like stuff like that for us was like, oh shit, like people are actually paying attention. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for him to actually take time to listen to it and then share it, it's like, damn, bro, like people are actually paying attention to what the fuck we're doing.
And
Right?
especially
So,
especially for you, because we power fans.
yeah,
Like
bro. So when he shared it, bro, I was at work going crazy, bro. Cause like, yo, he tagged us, he shared it. We were
yo,
going
this is crazy.
crazy, bro. So I'm like, damn, he shared it. So that means anybody he follows, like the other power people, they're gonna see it. Like, bro, like we went crazy for that. So like, where do I see it going? Like, I feel like as long as we stay consistent, we stay hungry, because that's really what it is these days. It's really the consistency, like putting out songs, continuing to put out songs, continuing to put out visuals, like, and then finding a way to kind of break the algorithm.
Yeah.
Like everybody talks about the algorithm, it's a real thing. Like trying to break that, if we're able to break that, then it can go wherever it needs to go. Do we want to be signed? Everybody wants to be signed, bro. But I just don't, and we talked about this a lot. Like we just don't want to be signed where it takes away from who we are, or like it takes away all ownership into what we want to build,
Right.
because we want to keep it family. The moment we sign it all away, it's kind of like it's not family anymore, right? So do
Right.
we want to get signed? 100%. But if that time, when that time comes, it has to be the right deal where it's not us giving away too much.
Right. It's kind of like a union contract. You're gonna have to budget or
Yeah,
mortgage some of it, but you don't want to mortgage everything. You
facts.
want to keep your music. You want to keep control. You want to more of you and less of them. You want them as like a quiet in the back. Just listen. You're gonna push our music.
Yep,
Just shut up.
bro. Exactly, because I've watched people like you bring up all the local guys, right? I watch people like Partisan Fontaine. Like, bro, I remember how hungry he was in the beginning. Then when he got signed, he was signed to Atlantic for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was like you didn't hear music from him. And then you would see like the little stuff that he posted. I remember before his first project came out, he was like, "Label has it's a holdup because of the label,
Yeah.
right?" So it's like stuff like that is kind of like it scares you away because it's like, damn, like, bro, like before you got signed, you were putting out music every day.
Right.
Like
And
you every week you were dropping something new. Now it's like you get signed and you got to fight with them to put out the music.
it hits different because you know him. Like,
Exactly. You
like
went to school with him. Exactly.
that's what makes it worse is like you know him. Like
Yeah.
we all know him by his legal name.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like
Facts.
people be like yo, word, like, like yeah, like like that's how it is. So you're kind of like that's happening to you, and like you hear about it, like
Mm-hmm.
like you look at it like Lupe Fiasco, his third album, he had the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was forever.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Wayne, the Carter Five. Even people. So like, but it hits different when it's happening to someone you
Yeah.
grew up with, and you're like, I don't know if I should do this.
Facts.
It would have to be the right, like you said, it would have to
Be
be
the
the
right
right
situation.
deal, the
Yep.
right situation.
100%.
So I want to know, who are some of the artists you would like to collaborate with? And I know it's a little open ended, but it could be anyone well known. It could be anyone local there, local here, local somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's in Montana rapping their ass off that you
Yeah.
saw on Instagram. Who do you personally want to work with?
Oh man. Damn, we talk about this a lot too. Like, I'd love to work with, like, I'll go super major first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get a song with. I feel like everybody would love to get a song with Drake. I feel like that's like the default. The Drake pack is real, right?
Drake effect.
Um, so even that, or like Cole, right? Or I like Favi, crazy. Like
Okay.
I rock with Favi, right? So those are definitely some of those guys. If we're coming down to like a level of local, I told Fee the other day, right? I told Fee the other day I got a joint. Like I told Fee the other day I got a joint that I would love for him to get on, right? So we gotta connect and we gotta try and figure that out. So it's always fun collaborating with Fee. So with Fee for sure. Um, if Baragon ever wants to come back over to rap, Baragon for sure. Um, I'd love to get one in with Oswin too. Like because I feel like Oswin would make me have to push my pen a little bit because he be flexing, bro, for real. Um,
Man, yeah. I can't even
yeah.
fathom. Like I want to ask him to come on here, but we might be here for like 4 hours.
Facts, facts, bro, and it's crazy, man. Because even Oswin, like I grew up with Oswin too, man. Like, and I remember I was writing him at one point, and I was like, dude, like I remember when he used to be like Christian rap. Like I
Yeah,
remember him, doing that, bro. Like at the church, you feel me? With Clayton, of all people. So like, and then it's like, bro, I remember riding the bus with him, like everything, like, and it's crazy to see like where he's at now, bro. So like, definitely,
yeah,
definitely, like those would definitely be something for sure, bro.
absolutely. Yeah, nah. Yeah, he would definitely do that because his metaphorical textures are
Great,
crazy. Like
great.
he released a freestyle not too long ago, and he said, "I'm gonna be like Jake Paul and detonate," but he
Yeah,
meant like how he like it said detonate, but he meant Nate Robinson. I was like, "Yo," I'm like, "What world are you from, bro?"
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm
Facts.
just like. Then he made like a reference to Missy Elliott by using Timberland with boots. I'm like, "Oh, wait, no, like you're not supposed to do this." Like, yeah, no, that would be dope if y'all did that. That would be some heat right
Facts.
there. So, what is your favorite favorite song or verse by yourself. Like, meaning your favorite song, like favorite song, even if it's a song with the group, but a song, your favorite song that you're on, or your favorite verse that you spit.
Bro, you gonna make me break out my phone, bro. Bro, because there's so many joints that we've done, and there's still so many joints that we've done where like, bro, like people haven't heard yet. Like I have a like literally when I tell you like we're creating songs, I want to say literally, bro, maybe like every day.
Wow.
Like there's songs that we have that are in the process of being mixed that we haven't dropped yet. There's
Oof.
songs that we have in the vault that aren't mixed. Like, bro, we're literally creating every day. But if I'm gonna go with a verse that I loved that I did, I'm really trying to think which one it is because I've got a few. The verse that I have on Tokyo Drift, I rocked with a lot. I went yo, I went ham on that joint. So that one for sure, bro, hands down, Tokyo Drift one for sure. If I'm gonna go emotional wise, bro, it'll probably be Rainy Nights, like I was telling you about earlier. Like that one
Yeah.
there is probably gonna be the most emotional one that I've done. And then there's a few joints in my vault that I have not
They're
that
not
we
ready yet.
that we haven't dropped yet. We even got a song tonight releasing Midnight, The Ruler,
Oh
on
man, see,
all streaming
see.
platforms.
Okay, see, I missed something,
Yeah,
so I'm glad you said that.
Midnight, The Ruler.
Oh, okay.
Song wise though, I'll I'll go just off of songs that we've already dropped. My favorite song would probably have to be I listen to Motion a lot. Motion is one I listen to a lot, as well as the Rock the Boat joint that we did on the summer EP. That one, those two I literally jump back and forth with a lot, and then Sprung will be in there somewhere. So favorite songs probably have to be those three.
Okay. Okay. I'm with it. You know, it's always just sidebar. Do you ever listen to yourself and in order to like get better?
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, right? You are the sixth episode I've done,
Yeah.
right? And through each episode, I've learned something, and I go back and I try to make it better. Like, even with the promotional part, like
Mm-hmm.
at first, I made a mistake with my first guest.
Mm.
So I improved it. Now, when I'm ready, now when I make a flyer, I send it to the guest,
Mm-hmm.
make sure it's good, make sure I didn't put something on it that's not right, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, in the same sense, do you like go back and you say, okay, like, how can I could have done this better, or for next time I can do this better, or do this differently, or
Yep.
come in here, or you change my voice here? Like, you ever, like, not nitpick yourself, but look for ways
Bro,
to improve using yourself?
I am my own worst critic. I say it all the time. I'm my own worst critic. Can't nobody critique me worse than I am going to critique myself.
Yeah.
Right? So, crazy thing about it is, before we release these songs to you guys, I have literally listened to all of these songs maybe hundreds of times, I feel like. Right? So, by the time they release, like I'm like, all right, you guys are just hearing it, but I've heard this like over and over and over and over and over already. So I listen to a lot of our music over and over, and I'm like, man, I didn't like how I said that, or man, I can say this clearer, or hey, maybe I can finesse it where it flows a little bit differently, or hey, next time, you know what, when I say this, I want it to hit the delay effect where it echoes, or I want it to hit that deep voice effect where it sounds crazy, right? So I do. I listen to everything over and over a lot more than I should, right? Some
Yeah.
people might say, "Hey man, it's crazy continuing to listen to yourself like that." Right? But like for me, bro, it's like homework, man. Like I got to. Like I feel like I need to study myself because there's always ways to get better. Like I think about it now, like the records that we did way back when it was like me, Elias, and Clayton and Barragon, like when we were doing Hillside for a minute, right? I
Mm-hmm.
listen to that stuff and I think about that stuff and I'm like, bro, like I sound nothing like that now. Like I'm 10 times better. I think even Like I had a conversation with Baragon and Clayton one time. I forgot what I dropped or what we dropped as a group, and they listened to it and they were like, "Yo, Rich, what the when did you get this nice?" Right? And
Yeah,
it's bro. I listen to it because I need to. Like I don't think I sound anything like how I used to sound. I don't think I sound like how I used to sound last year or even songs ago. So
yeah.
I definitely do, 100%.
Okay, okay. All right, that's always good to have and to always look for ways to improve.
Hmm.
Like you've seen my videos. I always talk about getting better as a person, and
Facts.
that's comes with everything, getting better in everything that you do. So that's really important. So now, um, what do you believe is the purpose of your music beyond entertainment? Oh, Gomez wants a quick 16.
That's of course he does. Of course he was a quick 16. That's crazy, bro. You know what I tell people? If you good at something, you never do it for free, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, you said question
What
was
do you believe is the purpose of your music beyond entertainment?
beyond entertainment. I've gotten to the point where I think the music for me is my outlet, right? It's the outlet that I feel like people can get to know me maybe a little bit better because again, I'm private as fuck. Like if you don't really know me, like if you didn't grow up with me, then you probably have no idea. Like you don't know anything about me because I show you what I need to show you, nothing more, nothing less, right? So I feel like it's an outlet. I feel like it's my way to articulate my feelings, but it's also a way for me to kind of connect with people who maybe, like I told you, like is going through the same thing, or maybe you know they don't know how to explain this, or maybe they vibe with it because it's like, oh man, I've felt like that before, but I didn't know what to quite call it,
Right.
right? So I feel like it's taken up a bunch of different meanings now
Yeah.
for me, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you just kind of go with the flow in a
Yeah.
sense. Just take it to another level.
Hmm.
So that brings me to, what is your ultimate goal in hip hop?
Ooh,
Like, what is
ultimate
one thing
goal.
you want more than anything else? Like, and more than anything else, what do you want to achieve ultimately?
I want to achieve, I want to get to a place where I can provide, bro, honestly, right? And it's a, it's not even like, I don't want to be like, oh man, I want to make millions and millions of dollars and I want to be super famous. Like, bro, like, I don't, the super famous thing is not even like a big thing for me. It's literally just if I could provide. Like I literally say it all the time. Like we talk about
Hmm.
it like as a group. We're like, man, and we can get to the point where we're making enough money to supplant the 9 to 5, then
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm if I can make that, if I can make enough money to supplant that, then I'm straight. Or even close to what I'm doing there, then I'm straight. Then I can do this full time and then I can do something that I love to do. So
Because
for
because if
so
you
for me,
you never if
yeah.
you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
100%, 100%. So for me, bro, it's literally like just getting to a place where I can provide. You know what I'm saying? And then with that, it creates the image or like the I can't even find the word like for my kids to know like, hey, like you can chase your dreams, bro. Like you can, if it's something that you love to do, like just do it. Everybody gonna hate. Not everybody gonna agree with it. Some people gonna be like, hey, you crazy for chasing it, but chase it because you love to do it. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. And I think also, and what people don't really understand is you have to really shoot for the stars.
100%.
Sometimes we just kind of live in the here and now. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that we have to elevate in order to educate.
Mm,
So you elevate and elevate, and it's showing your
mm,
kids like, well,
mm-hmm.
dad's doing what he loves to do. You
Facts.
know, and that's what you want. You want to be able to leave something behind, even if it's memories, or even if it's just speaking to them.
Hmm.
You know, that stuff is so important, especially, you know, when we have children, we're fathers, especially if especially if you want them to live the right path and walk the right way. So
Facts.
you've watched every episode to this point, so you always know what the last segment is, and that is the positive ending message. Whatever you have to say that's positive to the audience or anyone who might watch this back, go for it.
Ah, man. I normally and I say this daily, right? I tell people you got to treat every day like a page in the chapter of the story you wish to tell.
Ooh,
So treat every day like a page in the chapter of the story you wish to tell about you. That's the
mm,
that's biggest thing I can tell people, man. That's what I live with. That's what I try to push. You know what I mean? Like, just treat every day like the page in the chapter
wow,
of the story you want to tell about yourself.
that's deep.
Yes, sir.
That's deep. So now the other thing is, where can anyone find your music, or where can they follow you if you want to be followed? But where can they listen to the click and all the music that you have?
Woo! So where you can go is we are available on all streaming platforms. All you got to do is look up the click, and this hold on, it's loading. This lovely photo will pop up. So we are available on all streaming platforms. Um, you can follow us on Instagram at the click. You can follow me on Instagram, LRgoHard. I've got a bunch of joints out as well. I just dropped 2 Train. That's just me on it. Click projects. We got a lot upcoming. We got a lot of music in the vault that we're gonna start sharing. We got a song dropping tonight. The Ruler, available at
Check it
midnight.
out.
All streaming platforms. You can check that out. So Instagram, everything is LRgoHard or the click. All social media is pretty much LRgoHard or the click. 100%.
Well, listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on here, chopping it up. I enjoyed this.
I did too,
I
bro.
think
It's
you
been a
did
minute.
too.
It's been a minute,
You
man.
know, definitely. We definitely got a link. Me, you, and Steve. We got to make
Facts.
it happen. We talk every day, like
Facts.
literally every day.
Facts.
And I got to say, I want to thank everyone who watched this episode and every episode. I have a YouTube page, Honest Hour, on YouTube. My logo's on it. And please subscribe. Please share. This was a great episode. Next week, I have DJ Miss Official on,
Woo!
one of the best DJs in the Hudson Valley. We are booked on this show all the way up to May 2nd.
Oof.
Yep. Yep, we got some people coming on. We
Hey,
got we got
hey,
Remedy
man.
Love coming on. We got Big Veg coming
What
on.
I'll tell
We
you is, bro, just one thing I'm gonna tell you, bro. And this is, again, we went to school together, we grew up together, right? I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like, I'm proud of you for real,
yeah.
right? For chasing this, because this is not something easy to do. You feel me? Like, this
Of
is the hardest part is literally taking the leap, right? I can attest to it. Like, me moving from New York to Florida was literally
course.
just me taking the leap. I talked about it a bunch, right? So even doing this, setting yourself up to be on a platform where you can come on, and then I've watched every episode, bro. You've gotten
Yes.
better each week where it comes to you getting more comfortable asking the questions. You know what I mean? And you
Yes.
getting more precise or your research and stuff like that, right? So what I'll tell you is, proud of you. Continue doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Um, and it's gonna flourish, bro. Just stay true to you.
I'm trying. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I love you, bro.
Hey, I love you too, bro.
So that's what I got this week. That's LR Go Hard. Stream that song tonight. I know I'll be streaming it when I get up in the morning. And
I
bro,
appreciate it.
we gonna see you real soon. Everyone
Yes,
have a
sir.
good night. Thank you for tuning in.
Late night.
Peace.